Welcome to Home Finance Hacks. I'm your host, Frederick Middlebrooks, and today, this morning, up until the early afternoon, about 2.5, 3 hours of my morning and afternoon, I spent at the Atlanta Housing office in downtown Atlanta, going through a training to learn about their down payment assistance program. And I wanted to bring a lot of the information that I learned there to share with you in this broadcast. Not specifically for the Atlanta Housing Authority, but in general about some things that you need to be thinking about and considering when you're looking at using down payment assistance to help you accomplish your home ownership dreams. And so there's a lot to cover with down payment assistance. I'm not going to go over all of it, definitely not 2.5, 3 hours worth of it, but I'm going to give you the most important things that I took away and that I think you need to be cognizant of and focus on when you're looking at pursuing down payment assistance for your home ownership journey as well. So with that being said, there are a few things that you want to think about when you're looking at attacking down payment assistance. One, is it forgivable? Is it repayable? Those are two big things because a lot of down payment assistance has different terms. Some of them are forgivable immediately. Some of them are forgivable after a certain point. Some of them are repayable immediately. Some of them are repayable under certain terms and stipulations. Each down payment assistance program has its own way of doing things. Another thing that you might want to think about is, where is the down payment assistance money coming from? Is the down payment assistance money coming from a lender? Is it coming from a state organization? Is it coming from a nonprofit? These will all have an effect on what some of the terms are that you might see with that down payment assistance. For example, if you have down payment assistance that's coming from a lender, maybe that down payment assistance comes with a higher interest rate for your primary loan, assuming that down payment assistance is falling as a secondary mortgage. So you might have down payment assistance that's coming as with a higher interest rate. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does. Maybe that down payment assistance is forgivable, but maybe it's repayable. Maybe there are some conditions attached to that repayable. If it's a state organization, what are the terms that state is requiring in order for you to be able to get their down payment assistance and everything. Another thing you might want to think about, is it a grant? Is it a loan? All things to consider. We're going to get into that just shortly. So to start things off, these are some things that you want to think about and know off the jump, essentially, when you're going into down payment assistance. One is what the qualifications are. So is this down payment assistance for first-time home buyers, or is this a down payment assistance that anybody can use, whether you're a first-time home buyer or not? Are there income restrictions? Are there location restrictions? Meaning that, is it only applicable for homes that are located within a certain area? Are there restrictions on the purchase price? For example, can you purchase a home of any price and use this down payment assistance? Or do you have to purchase homes that are under a certain price range? A lot of down payment assistance programs do have purchase price restrictions. And the reason is because a lot of down payment assistance programs have income restrictions. Many of them are meant for low to middle income home buyers. And so because of that, you find that a lot of down payment assistance programs will only allow you to go up to a certain price point, because they'll only allow you to go up to a certain income, and that income generally can only get you to a certain price point in most cases. And so those are some of the things you want to look out for, because let's say, for example, the training that I was in today was for the Atlanta Housing Authority. They only do down payment assistance for homes located in Atlanta. So if you are outside of the city of Atlanta, there's no point in even looking at that program, because it's not going to help you at all. You need to be inside the city of Atlanta. So you want to know, in whatever area you live, what are those restrictions for that program, so that you don't spend your time, or waste your time rather, researching programs that aren't going to be applicable to you. Now, if you're interested in going into a city where maybe you have down payment assistance is offered there, and you're going to go there because you can purchase there because the down payment assistance is offered there, then yes, you can tailor it that way as well, because maybe you're not able to purchase where you want to be, so you have to go where the down payment assistance is going to allow you to get into a home. And that's okay as well, because if that's what allows you to be able to get your home ownership journey started, then by all means, get your home ownership journey started however you're able to get it started. So utilize it. If they say only in the city of, Detroit, or only in the city of Chicago, or only in the city of wherever city you live in, Dallas, Austin, wherever, if they've got down payment assistance that applies just to, whatever area, and that's your only way that you can get into home ownership, there is no shame in utilizing that platform to live in that area, get your home ownership journey started. And then from there, you can use that as a launching pad to get to where you want to be. But you want to know what those guidelines are so that way you can stay within them, especially when it comes to income restrictions. These are just a few as well. There are a lot of different guidelines. Some have credit score guidelines. So, your credit score is going to need to be up to a certain point as well in order to utilize that down payment assistance money as well. So these are things that you want to be made aware of. So moving on from those restrictions that you might have and knowing what the qualifications are, you also want to know what are the terms of the down payment assistance. So we hit on this a little bit at the beginning. Is it a grant or is it a loan? Is this something that we're just giving you the money and it's yours and you utilize it to purchase a home? Or is this is a loan and we expect repayment under certain terms or until a certain point? Now, if it is a loan, is it forgivable or is it repayable? If it's forgivable, what are the terms of it being forgiven? Meaning, is it forgivable after 5 years? Is it forgivable after 10 years? What are those terms of it being forgiven? Do I have to make all of my payments on time? What happens if I miss a payment? Is it still forgivable? Because some down payment assistance programs, if you miss a payment, it might start that clock all over again, meaning that if you have to have 5 years of on-time payments in order for it to be forgiven, and you get to year 3.5 and you miss a payment, now it starts that 5-year clock all over again. That's something you're going to want to make sure you know about in advance. Now, you don't ever want to miss a payment, but you do want to know what the terms are of this down payment assistance so you don't get surprised later if you end up falling on hard times, having to miss a payment. Hopefully you reach out to your loan officer or your mortgage company and talk to them before you just blow through that missed payment so that you can mitigate that issue before it arises. But in any case, you don't want to have to get to that point and then find out that, oh no, now I have to wait a whole another 5 years before this money is going to be forgiven. So that's something that you want to know. But if it's repayable, what are the terms under which it needs to be repaid? Some down payment assistance programs require the down payment assistance to be repaid over the next 10 years. Some require over the next 15 years. Some will have it as a second mortgage on the home. And so you're essentially making your primary mortgage payment and then a second mortgage payment as well. Some of them will have it as a second mortgage with zero interest rate, and it doesn't need to be repaid until you sell the home, refinance, or you move out and it's no longer your primary residence. That's another term that some down payment assistance programs have. But other down payment assistance programs have terms where you can move out of the home if it's no longer your primary residence, but you don't have to pay it back unless you sell the home or if you do a cash out refinance. And that's much different because some down payment assistance programs will allow you to refinance the home into a lower interest rate. And that will help you lower your monthly payment without having to pay back that down payment assistance. So that's something that can be key, because let's say that you're getting down payment assistance today at today's interest rates. And let's say you get in at a 6.5 or a 7% interest rate. And in a year or two, interest rates drop to let's say a 5.5, and you want to refinance and save, a couple $100s on your monthly mortgage payment. Well, if you were to drop that mortgage payment down, or if you were to refinance rather, so that you can get that mortgage payment down, some down payment assistance programs are going to say, hey, you refinance the home, you need to pay us the $15,000 that we gave you back. That could be something that might make you not want to refinance the home. And you're going to want to know that before you refinance, am I going to have to pay back that down payment assistance? Because you don't want to have to get down the process of now you've spent money on an appraisal if you had to get an appraisal for the refinance, or you spent money on, whatever else. You spent time, which is even the most valuable thing, going through this process only to find out you're going to have to pay this $15,000 back and you don't have that much equity in your home after 2 years. So these are things that you're going to want to know in advance so that you can make more informed decisions. What are the terms of it being repaid? If it is another thing repayable, you have some down payment assistance programs that don't have to be repaid again until you sell the home, refinance, or move out of the home and it's no longer your primary residence. But if that's the case, having some flexibility and knowing that you can refinance and get those lower interest rates and, do some things to help yourself out might help you choose one down payment assistance program over another, even if that one down payment assistance program maybe comes with a slightly higher interest rate, because it's going to give you the ability to lower it without having to pay back $15,000, $20,000. That's something that could be a difference maker in which program you decide to go with, but you need to do your research, talk with your loan officer, and talk with multiple loan officers. I will say that. Talk with multiple loan officers, because not all loan officers offer all programs. And the loan officer you talk with is going to tell you about the programs that that particular loan officer offers. They're not going to tell you about all of the other programs that are out there that could be better than the one that they offer. They're only going to talk about what they offer. So if you talk to multiple loan officers, then you get different ideas and you get different programs that might suit you better than the one that this loan officer provides. So it's important that you talk with multiple loan officers so that you can get the best idea, the best resources for you to choose from. So on from, when it needs to be repayable and everything like that, a big thing that I want to leave you with is to be patient and expect a lot of documentation to be requested of you. Down payment assistance is not it's not a simple process by any stretch of the imagination. Typically, there is a lot of documentation that is involved with down payment assistance. So typically you go to purchase a home, most people are used to, okay, I know you're gonna need my pay stubs, my bank statements, my W-2s, maybe you need my tax returns, copy of my driver's license. But when you go to get down payment assistance, you might also need to provide letters of verification to verify different charges that are on your credit report, or different charges that are on your bank statements. You might have to provide income documentation for a spouse that's living with you, even if that spouse is not on the loan. You might have to provide information on your kids. You might have to provide residence history of where you used to live, and you might have to provide history or proof of on-time rent payments being made. That might be a stipulation for one of the down payment assistance program, is show us that you've made on-time rent payments for the last 12 months. We want a verification of rent and a 12-month history for a verification of rent. That might be something. So you have to reach out to your current or previous landlord so that you can get that rental history and provide that. There are so many additional documents that you may have to provide for this down payment assistance. It's going to be a lot. Go into it with the mindset that this is going to be a journey. It's not going to be a sprint, and it's not going to be a layup. It's going to be a journey that's going to require work and documentation on my end. But in the end, I'm going to end up with the down payment assistance money that I need to allow me to purchase the most valuable thing and the biggest purchase that I will probably make in my life, which is the home that you own, and likely the home that you also will live in. So with that, enter into it knowing it's going to be a journey that's going to require a lot of work and documentation, but it's also going to have the biggest payoff, because homeowners, and this has been proven by research, are 40 times, the median net worth of homeowners is 40 times higher than the median net worth of renters. That is a huge gap. Homeowners, most of their net worth sits in equity in their home. Also, homeowners tend to have more disposable income than what renters tend to have as well. So don't just think that, renters are just saving up all their money. No, homeowners tend to have more money saved up, and they have a higher median net worth as well than as compared to renters. So again, this is going to be a well worth it journey for you. It's going to be something that is in the end going to have a huge payoff. It's going to allow you to start building that generational wealth that you can then continue to build upon and pass along to your kids. But you've got to get started and just go into it knowing that if you're going to need down payment assistance so that you can get that start into home ownership, you need to go into it with the mindset that this is going to require a lot, and work as diligently as you can to get the loan officers and the agencies that you're working with the information that they are requesting as soon as possible, because that's going to help them move even quicker on your behalf as well. So that's what I have for you. Wanted to just share with you some of those nuggets that I took away from today's training, and hopefully it's been beneficial for you as well. But if you don't get anything else from it, get started. Don't wait. Get started on the process now. It's going to pay off for you. It's going to pay off for you. Just get started on the process. Get with a good loan officer. Talk with several loan officers. Research several different programs that are out there in the area where you live for down payment assistance, and get started on getting what you need so you can become a homeowner. That's what I have for you. Make sure you tune in on Fridays. I drop a new episode of the Greatest Asset Community Podcast every Friday. And make sure you're back here on Tuesdays as well, 7 p.m. Eastern time every Tuesday, Home Finance Hacks. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. Take care, be blessed, and we'll see you next week.